Prosecutors opened another front in the legal battle against former President Donald Trump. New York Attorney General Letitia James brought fraud charges against the former president and also his 3 adult children. That was before an appeals court ruled against the former president in the case of the documents seized at Mar-a-Lago. To help us break all this down this morning, I'm joined by professor at George Washington University, Kyle Welsh. Professor, great to have you on this morning. Thank you. So how much legal trouble is the Trump family facing right now?
Well, so in this, with this particular case, it's a little bit more nuanced than what was disclosed from the AG. There's a lot of different cases that are going on. This case is related to the specific financial statements that were kind of leaked a few years back, and there was a Washington Post story about it. And the essence of the Attorney General is saying these financial statements are too aggressive, and as a result, there's damages, and we're going to take this to court for damages. And so the problem is there's a bit of nuance with financial reporting, public companies versus private companies, and what's in this report and what actually they were used for that makes it not really a clear case. And it's one of the reasons why it's a civil case instead of a criminal case.
And why does that matter?
Well, so if you think about it, so these financial statements, Donald Trump is, I think everybody would agree, hyperbole is a great word to describe Donald Trump in a lot of ways. He's just, he's known for hyperbole and a lot of stuff. And in these financial statements, for sure, the financial statements have hyperbole in their creation. They are aggressive. But the thing is that he's a private individual, and it's not clear what they were used for. And moreover, there's nobody that used them that is like bringing this case. It's the Attorney General that's bringing this case. So it's not a bank bringing this case saying they got defrauded or anything like that. And so in these financial statements, he basically created it himself. And an added factor that complicates like trying to get a case on this, and the reason why other attorney generals didn't bring a case, is that these financial statements have certain disclosures that basically signal hyperboles throughout this. Usually you get a financial statement audited by an accounting firm, and that accounting firm tells you, we followed certain rules or principles in making these statements, and we checked the numbers. And he almost had a disclosure at the beginning that was his disclosure at the beginning from this accounting firm was the opposite. It said, we didn't check the numbers, and they don't really follow GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles. And so as a result, that's a big disclosure there that would be a red flag to any bank looking at this. And then if you look at the footnotes, all the footnotes say these were all valued based on the expertise of Donald J. Trump. And so he disclosed basically that it's all one direction. And so most people that have, just a smidgen of financial reporting understanding look at these, and I don't believe they're going to be used in a material way in any loan. I mean, you think about a loan for your house, the bank always gets an appraiser for it. So I imagine that these were possibly given to banks, but not probably the core document.
Right. And in real estate, I mean, a property is worth what someone will pay for it, right? The age-old saying. Let's talk about the DOJ investigation for a moment, Professor. The appeals court ruled that the DOJ can have access to those 100 classified documents in question that the special master is reviewing. I want to take a look quickly at what they said in their ruling. They said, we cannot discern why plaintiff would have an individual interest in or need for any of the 100 documents with classified markings. Plaintiff suggests that he may have declassified these documents when he was president. The record contains no evidence that any of these records were declassified. Help us read between the lines here. What does that mean?
So let me be clear. I'm not a lawyer, so
neither am I.
I'm an accounting professor. So, but based on what I've heard from experts like Jonathan Turley and others, you can't have documents declassified in secret. There's usually a documented process for it, and I believe that's the concern that's here. Again, there's a lot of uncertainty about what's even in them and what's involved. And so there's not much that we can say other than there seems to be something here that's very important for this. To do this to a former president is unprecedented. And so if there's nothing there, this is a real big problem for our country.
Well, and I think a big win for the DOJ with this ruling last night. Finally, before I let you go, Professor, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, Jenny Thomas, now says she will talk to the January 6th committee. What's the significance of that?
I think it's that she's a private citizen and that she is not directly related to anything other than being married to somebody that is Supreme Court justice. She's a private individual, and so her testifying is kind of an odd. It's an odd feature. She doesn't really have a public office, so I hadn't even. Yeah. I was not even aware that she was testifying.
Well, her text with Mark Meadows certainly will come into question. Professor Kyle Welsh from George Washington University, great to see you this morning. Thank you for giving us some time.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.